Yo, we're back on the iPhone XR. Yes, ja. Yesterday, I spent literally my 2 days off. Friday, well, not so much Friday. I slept in front of the tank. See my laptop here, sleeping right beside the tank. And I decided that no, I have to go back to the XR. The quality of the picture, you guys pick up my voice, it's just a lot better. So I had to edit the videos them, clean them up, back them up, and upload them to YouTube. Fucking hooray! This morning I went to bed at about 3 o'clock this morning. And what I did was I uploaded, I think, up to day 8. There's a whole heap of videos, you know. So I get from the beginning up to day 8 uploaded on YouTube, but I have all the videos privated because I'm gonna release them at one time, but at least I'm off my phone, so I spare up some space. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more neater. A friend of mine was watching one of my videos and he sent me a screenshot because he put on the subtitles because he couldn't understand my accent, and what the subtitles said was pure garbage. He took a snapshot of it. I can't promise you that I'm going to try and speak straight English. When I get into my vibes, I just talk Jamaican and I mix it. So you just have to follow as you can. So anyway, this video was supposed to be for yesterday, but because I stayed up too late trying to get the videos off at this phone and backing up, I said, you know what, it's tomorrow, I'm going to do it. So what I did, I started trying to keep this going. It's just making some notes to myself. Oh yes. Wow. What I want to talk about. Hear me the arm them again. If my English teacher, if I hear me, he would have slapped me upon my knuckles. There's no such word as arm. It is every time you say arm, it's you verbalizing before you think. Stop and think, Russ. So slow down. Okay, so let me just go through a couple of things. Oh, Jano, before me jump to my notes, I just have to tell you now right now. I fuck up yesterday, you know. Yeah man, I fuck up something yesterday. Well, to me it's a fuck up, but it's a big lesson. You know, I've been talking about redundancies, and by now probably some of you are like, "Bumbuck lad, oh you have so much redundancy on top of redundancy on top of redundancy." Yeah. But here's the thing about redundancy. You want to hear a secret? Listen, you have too much redundancy. Too much redundancy can make you get lazy and get careless. You hear? Because you think, oh, the backup will take care of that. Fucking hell. So here's what happened to me yesterday. I hope you guys been enjoying the fact that I've been showing you the humidity. I changed up how I position the Seneye. So I'm going to have to take off the camera for this because this is my first major fuck up concerning redundancies. I have a backup for pretty much almost every key piece of gear. So any gear I have that is really important to this project, guess what I do? I have a second one or I have something else. You've been seeing that, right? So for the humidity meter that I had just sitting here, I now put it on top of the tank, but fuck. So I'm going to walk backwards and try not to cover the camera and show you this. Because this is a lesson to me and I make sure I put it here so. Alright. You see this so? See that? Screen black, don't it? See this one over here so? Screen a blank, don't it? That little fucker, my fault, fell into the tank. It was sitting right there and I was doing some cleanup of the glass, remember I tell you? Moving the glass, forget because my bun my ganja, you know. Speaking of my ganja. My bun my ganja, totally forget that the humidity meter is there. And what do you think happened? Let me show you what happened. Bounce it, drop in the water. Watch me now. What that doing in there? pussy, what you mean what it doing in there? You see, by the time it register, and I grab it and I take it up. You know, when you just start to see the LCD, the display light just dimming, like, no. Pull out the battery, blow it out, carry it outside, dry it out and cross my fingers. No such fucking luck. Dead as a doornail. So, no, it's not the COVID sniffles, is the herb and outside get nice, you see. But anyway, drop in there. So, I had to declare that because to me that's contamination. No, fuck it, don't. Will anything happen to the tank because of it? No, but I have to let you know. Because throughout this entire journey, my objective is never to have to put anything in my tank that A, has not either been sterilized by steaming, piping hot, burn your lip, tongue, skin, water, and steam. Or if it is livestock, which is very fucking unlikely, but just in case, you're going through a whole acclimatization program. So that dropped in there, ladies and gentlemen. I was pissed at myself. Pissed. So pissed that you see, I'm leaving it here as a fucking reminder to myself. Yo, Rasta, anytime you touch your tank, or about to touch your tank, hold on, stop and think about what you're about to do. That's what that is there. So I leave the dead one right here. So every time I lift up this hood, I go and see it and I go remember the fuckery. Yeah? So now that's the backup. That one I never anticipated ever having taken it out of the back seat there at the project. I'm not even into, I don't finish my 30 days yet and I'm into my backup unit. And here's the benefit of this now. Sometimes this one is the last one you have. You treat it like gold. And so sometimes these redundancies, what they do is they make us get careless, as I said. Oh, sure, you skip the scheduled maintenance of your turn pump and you didn't bother to service it. Boom! It have happened to you yet? Yo, let me tell you something, man. I was giving a tank to service, and me and the person was standing up beside the tank talking about the tank. Literally, as I was about to service, I was here, boom! Right underneath the sump, you know. I'm like, bomba clot, what that? Now the return pump blew up. Yes, I have. Boom! You know how long it never serviced? How lucky I was right there. So anyway, that's the carelessness, and I just wanted to talk about that first because that was fucked on my part. And you know, when I fuck up, I go and tell her no, you know. So there goes the whole idea of nothing having contaminated the tank. But that was you get the approach, you get the spirit, so that when it happened, you are so grieved by it that you make sure you put things in place. So that is the last humidity sensor. And you see, it was reading now 41% because the wave pump is up. So that was a fuck up I wanted to talk to you about. But there are a couple others. And I'm going to just go through these things random. As you hear the arm again, shit. Alright. I fixed the Seneye to the back glass. There's a reason I did it, you know. I can't remember the reason right now, and I make a note and I can't even read my Ross handwriting. I was so high. And so, what the fuck does this mean again? Oh, yes, thank you. I see the note now. I don't know if I told you that the way I got the Seneye working, you remember when my laptop shut down? So I had a long time, I had an issue with it, and it wasn't giving me readings Saturday morning, which was yesterday morning. So when I woke up at 8 something, it took one reading when I refreshed it, but it wouldn't take any more readings. 2 hours passed and I think the Seneye is recording and I go back and touch it and say, but hold on. How it look like it? Cause I can see the time the last reading was taken. So I realized it wasn't recording. Anyway, so what I ended up having to do was literally close the app, unplug the Seneye, open up the Seneye app again, let it ask for the Seneye, plug it into the USB, and voila, it came up. And I'm glad that happened, because when that happened, what I decided to do was just go through and check all of my settings to make sure everything was okay. Hurrah, Tid. I think you saw that in one of the past videos. But I want to be very clear. All the readings up to yesterday, I will have to call suspect because I did not click. There's a box in under the settings for the SUD. It says if it is for a marine or a reef tank, you need to click that. I did not click OK. So, you know, it was just reading, I guess, in its default settings, assuming maybe it was a freshwater tank. And around that time, you'll exactly see that my pH dropped. When I clicked it, I was around the same time doing the water change, so there's a little bit of discrepancy there. I suspect what happened at that time is that the unit corrected itself for the salinity component that would affect the pH. So I think there is an internal computation for the Seneye. There is, not I think, there is an internal computation to adjust for saltwater environment versus fresh. So don't forget to click that. I did not adjust any of the trims. I left it at the factory default, but I was clicked, yes, this is for marine reef tank. So my pH, as you're going to see, I haven't touched my computer since I come home. I came home maybe about 3 hours ago, and I was just relaxing, feeling good that I can go back to this phone to record. So I'm going to take the phone up and I'm going to touch the screen and let y'all see what the readings is. Readings are. This is just so funny for me. I don't even know why I'm trying to speak. You see, every time I try to speak proper English, consciously, sometimes it just not in this vibe when I'm just relaxing. So I'm sorry, I'm going to just talk the way I normally talk. Alright, so I'm going to let you see the readings, but I'm keeping up one particular screen now, which is a screen that shows me directly what's going on with the Seneye. Meaning, I'm not on their web server because the web server updates periodically. When I'm looking on the direct connection to the Seneye, I can see the readings and it literally tells me how many seconds, how many minutes ago the last reading was. So I will show you that because that is my heads up. That's my critical screen that I want to watch. And it's only one thing I'm watching on it. Y'all know what it is. Ammonia. It's the only thing that I am concerned about. And I'm no longer concerned about it because the tank is proven to me to be more stable than when it was before running on the canister filter. Look. Them get too heavy feeding, you know. You see the day that I told you that I was going to skip 2 days because I could still see the heavy feeding after feeling that victorious evening, and I could see it in the night. Just so because Specker said no, I'm not going to feed them for 2 days. By the end of the next day, I was searching, I couldn't find nothing. I said, where are all the food gone? And I said, there's no. Listen to me. People, let me tell you something. I see that fox face at the top of the tank and I had to just lift it up and just watch him. At the surface, in the foam, right up. And I'm like, you know, sir, it must be like ice cream to him. Because that must be the organics well, that's what the proteins, that's what causes the foam on top of the water. And that's the thing just came out. They say when the waves crash on the rocks by the pier and you see that frothing, that's the organics, the proteins in the water. And he was up there licking it up. So like I've seen some very interesting behaviors from the fish that I never saw before. The wave pump, and I'm going to just forgive them credit. I mean, boom shot. I mean the pump. These guys are dancing in the waves. But let me not lose track. So I had to just disconnect and reconnect the Seneye. That is now fixed in one place with the suction cup and the back glass. I wasn't really after a while liking the idea of it swinging around. I think I might experiment with that one day. But being fixed in one place, and so I like my thing neat, you know. Oh, I don't know if you noticed that when I opened up the canopy, is that I sort of just moved, you know me. Let me just carry the camera back over there again. I'm not gonna say. I like to point these things out. Yeah, I just sort of moved the cards and shit around. So Yeah, you notice now that the airline is just all the way to the back and running straight across here. Instead of just running, you know, bland here. And oh, yes, look, there's a new addition. This you might recognize as the optical level sensor for the ATK, but it's not connected. I said, well, I have the gear, why not use it up? So all this is here right now to do is give me the alert. So I'm going to now be able to, well, two things: give me an alert so I know how the evaporation rate is going, because I don't expect it to evaporate at all, based on how I've it set up, and also it will allow the data that I'm putting forward, so you'll be able to see when I do my water changes, because you're going to see the level drop. You're going to see the level drop. Hold on, let me put back the camera, and you'll see also the change in temperature. And you'll be able to back that up with the Seneye, because the Seneye is also going to show a consistent reading. So once a week, remember the servicing regime that I did yesterday, you see that data, is I took out all the probes, the temperature probe, the Exoterra probe, and I wiped them off, fresh water, vinegar, scrub off, fresh water, shine it up, put them back in, I clean off the light, all the dust that was on it originally, because remember, this system wasn't like this before with the positive pressure, and I'm now going to watch and see if there's any dust build up on the light. You know, I got a call today, and you know, the benefits of this system is just amazing. To me, I should say, reefers all over have drifted to this open top, you know, nice European clean line type of tank. But here's what happened with that. The call I got was from a colleague who wanted a fan for one of his radiant lights. Oops. Brethren, these are the things that happen. So when you have your lights in a dusty environment and you're not maintaining and servicing that fan, and all the dust build up on the circuit board, what do you expect to happen? So, to me, not like only for work, sometimes I am a man that, let me tell you the type of Rasta I am. And I think the only reason this is going to work in terms of a daily routine for me is because of the connection I have to life. So, don't give me anything and tell me I have to do it every day, and don't give me no end date. I'll tell you for fuck off. That is why I am not in no bounded relationship with no one woman. Not gonna happen. You understand me? Yes, man, when it's your time, it's your time. But when it's my time, leave me the fuck alone. Right? So that is why my tank has been so automated to the yin-yang. So, but in all of the automations, you've got to remember the personal liberty touch. You can't miss that out. And hopefully this is a design that is going to help a lot of reefers. Like, for instance, what the hell is going to be happening with this COVID shit now? Factories are closing down, workers have stopped going to all kind of different factories all over the world, and we're finding that there's some things in our marine industry that are short supply. Like certain reagents for certain equipment. You can't find them. Well, what if your system was programmed, like, y'all know I have the Trident, right? My Trident is in my grow. And I'm like, well, oh fuck. Now, fortunately, I can run the grow without it. But I was designing the grow to use some of the readings from the Trident to let me fine-tune certain things in how I'm going to be cultivating cannabis. And now I'm going to have to take the Trident offline. I have to take the Trident offline. And when I say offline, meaning it's not running yet. It's not going to go connected into the system. I have to plug it out from where it is and not do what I was about to do with the Trident. Because I don't know confidently that I can get the reagents easily. In fact, I can tell you, I've already had a lot of calls. And I'm like, well, that was the last one. And the rasta I didn't take it for myself. I knew that there was a reef out there who was going to need it. I had tried it and I've started this project right after this. And I had to make that calculation. And the answer was no. You know, the answer, and I'm getting the answer now deeper inside of me. Is that as much as technology is there for us, we've got to go back to basics with everything that we're doing. So use the technology to the best of its ability. But me sorry if I offend nobody for me say this. If you can't drive a stick shift car, use not a driver. You have to drive a stick shift car and then you can drive automatic. I don't see your car steer and drift and do all kind of things, you know, no, but driver is stick shift and then automatic. I talked about the principle already earlier. Learn to glide before you you're going on the commercial airline, you know, for make them pilot thing. So, alright, let me try and stay on top of this and not run out this memory too far. Just a few notes. I was just doing a little bit of research and oh no, I said that before. Okay. Oh, I'm going to actually try and put by making some of these notes too. These are going to serve as a basis for the Reef to Reef forum. I'm actually going to post my findings and I'm going to do a little bit more detailed scientific studies on it. Like, I'm in two minds of how much, and this is why I have the gear like this. I can easily move gear off of my grow and put it on my tank. Like, I am curious to know what the dissolved oxygen reading, the dissolved oxygen reading is in the water. I mean, the Seneye is telling me what it can take, but I have the tools to know. But because I don't want the potential of cross-contamination, I don't think I'm going to drop the DO sensor in here, even though I know I can clean it properly. So I am only going to use the tools I am showing people that is required for a system like this and see how well we can run it without anything external. Because we don't have the DO meter. We don't even have not many people would have it. So I'm going to just run off of this, off of the Seneye and the occasional API test and the things that I'm adding. Speaking of adding, it came across my mind today. And I guess this is from the pun side of me. You see these things click every now and then. I've always told people, because when you learn, when it's happened to you, and you learn once, 2, 3 times, and you see your mother and your father ball, it sticks you in your heart. If you have a pan, and you're going to see there's a correlation between the two and why I'm holding this. If you have a pan, oftentimes, especially in the times now when you're coming into spring and summer, in Jamaica is almost always summer, filling up and topping up our tank is a regular routine, but sometimes they get busy. So you know what happens? Sometimes it happens even at work. You take the chance, and the chance is, okay, I'm going to put the hose down. You hear where this is going, right? Make it go and fill up the pan. I'm going to go inside, put on the tea. By the time I come back, it's supposed to ready. Here's what normally happens. You hear a scream outside. Or you don't hear a scream. It's you go buck up the dead fish them in the morning because the whole outside flood out. And the fish them turn over. It's when these things happen to you, it hurts you because you know it's your foolishness. You didn't put a system in place. Number one, and I can tell you it has happened where I was able to catch it and not catch it. If you have a lot of chlorine in the water, you know what you need? You've seen that I use in the Pisces products. I'm not going to show them again. But this is the emergency for me. See it there? If you're using tap water in your tank, this is a very concentrated. It does chlorine, chloramine, it detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. Me don't know about the detoxification of ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate yet. I have to go read up their MSDS sheets and see how it do that. Because all I can think of is probably, there's something in here that's probably binding up those molecules. But how it does it, I don't know. So I am not claiming to agree with this part. But the chlorine and the chloramine, because it's not every city is like Calgary where, as far as we know, it's only chlorine them use here. And I know the tap water route is frowned on by many reefers. Yeah, because you want the most pristine environment, and I understand that. But when shit get hard, and your RODI system, like many RODI system, is a 50 to 50. Half if you're lucky. Half if you pump 2 gallons of water, 1 waste and it's 1 you get. We can't be doing those things in these times, and that's why a lot of people, what I'm hoping is that instead of you coming out of the hobby, you come back, you stay in the hobby, simplify your system, keep as much of the livestock as you can by gliding them, and hopefully come out at the end of it. And if you do and you are on tap water, like I am, have at least 2 different types of dechlorinator. The tap water conditioner, and why not? The tap water conditioner, which is my daily conditioner. This is what I put in the tank every single day. 1 cap. This is my everyday conditioner. This is emergency. I don't even think I'm going to crack the buckle. Right? This is an emergency. Again, if ammonia get out of control, emergency. I have a couple of backups for the tanks, as I said, I have to think about. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a canister and I don't have a core 15. I have no backup. There is no ceiling to show now. But oh God, I can't wait. But it don't exist. That's all I have. And that better work. Or is me going to be in there stirring the water to save the fish. Right? So, boy, I really... Oh yeah, I mentioned this. We make sacrifices. One of the cashiers I said to asked me, where you get so much money? Because every day I was buying something. And in Jamaica, we have a term where you say just lock your eye. Yeah, I got to the point, and you heard me talk about it, where ganja put something else into my mind to get, like when the Seneye came to my mind now, you saw that video, but it was a painful one because I didn't budget for it. As far as I was concerned, I was done. I'm doing the assembly, and I get stopped right in the middle, so I didn't budget for the Seneye. I didn't budget. I didn't budget for a lot. I didn't budget for the sale. I didn't budget for a lot of things, and what happened is I had to just do this because as I was doing the running total, it's after I did the Seneye, I was like, okay, I can squeeze here, I can cut here. This, I might get a little extra over here, and not too bad. But you see, when I literally, I have the bin and pile up of the things I'm buying. And when I shut my eye and just say here, and just swipe, I don't use credit anyway. I'm not a man who believes in credit. So you'll never see me with no fucking credit card. I've been there, done that, right? So because I just, I reach where my hat can reach. My debit card, I said, all right, guess what, Russ? You can't go grocery shopping this week. That was last week. Yo, remember I shopped 2 weeks at a time. Last week was week 3. That was the Seneye money, right? This week, we spend this week grocery money too. Me in the cupboard, and I said, all right, you have 1 tin of this, 1 tin of that. You have some flour, a real Rastaman vibe me I think about now, you know. Because to get the tank to this place, I had to make a personal sacrifice. And the personal sacrifice is, I run out of ganja. Me have, you see this? Alright, see it here? I can scrape out this, and 1 little tiny piece of bud leaving up. But you see, John Mercy, I'm going to show you something. I said, I don't care. I don't have nothing coming in from my grow right now. I don't have no dispensary money. So guess what? We've just gone with our herbs. We're not addicted. Yo, it's not a big deal. I'm going to miss ganja, but I had to do this. One brethren just come to me the other day and say, yo, Russ, hold this. You know what that is in my hand? A chocolate infused. Alright, a chocolate infused deliciousness. I've been saving it for a special occasion, and I just remembered I had it. So the last little herb going on tonight, because I'm going to finish doing a few little, well, most of the meetup is finished, but finish talk to you, and I might take a little bite off of this, or this will carry me through the week. So I just keep it nice and cool in my fridge. Oh, no kids are here. All right. Oh, when I had installed the optical sensors from the ATK system, I kept on getting a high level alarm alert on Fusion 2 Apex. I was like, what the hell? I keep on looking at like, I thought something was wrong until I looked a little closer. You know what it was? We have such a you know, I say saltwater jump. I'll never forget that moment I told me that term. Wayne, you ever seen saltwater jump? I'm like, this old man talking about saltwater jump. You go to the surface of your tank and just go eye level with it, right? Especially if you have anything, well, in a system like this, even if I were to turn it off and just the canister, you will see the salt water popping, that surface tension. I've talked about that before. And it was popping up on the sensor. And so the sensor was literally getting wet. I'm like, oh. So what I did was just plugged it out. I'm not sure that actually worked. I have to program it because I wanted to alert me for other things. But the idea is that sensor is now going to be repurposed. And me plugging out this other one for now means that I have a spare optical sensor. So that's going to give me the precision, because the one thing that every reefer fears, and there is no redundancy for this one unless you just happen to be there and miraculously are able to catch them and have a holding tank up and running, is if your glass broke. If you have a leak and any of your silicone seams break on you and you don't catch it, a slow leak you can probably catch, but one that does give way, yeah, there's no, you can't, you know what I mean? I only hope that if something like that happens, a slow leak, because I have two things. I now have the optical sensor, which is monitoring, and this will give us an idea of the evaporator rate too, because I went and looked on it a while ago. Don't budge. That means with all that air I'm pushing there, the tank is now just about 90% covered, and it is holding in all of that moisture, the vast majority of it. Where you see that the humidity is only 40%, where 30 to 45% is ideal for an environment, and in here it's just so dry. So I love what that is doing. But yeah, still set at 40%. So let me go on to another. So I'll go on to another point. So install optical sensor with the idea to give me that alert. I already have the leak detector at the base, so it's completely covered from top to bottom. If there's a leak or drop, I should know, and if there's a leak at the bottom, I should know. Right, I tell us I'm gonna drop the humidity sensor already. I clean the sensors, I neat up the tubing, I dust off the light. The tank is now 90% covered. Oh, and I mentioned the fact that I have back up my phone, delete, so this video can be a higher quality now. What else I did have here? Oh, yeah. I thought long and hard about buying the HANA alkalinity, the colorimeter. If you watch any of my videos on Pisces, that was the first video I did for them, which is the one on the HANA alkalinity meter. The second one I did for them was the Seneye. Two very critical tools in the hobby, because they surround up, they cover really core parameters, alkalinity being number one. Now, simplifying the system, here's what I had to make the decision on. I trust Aquafaris. You heard me say that before, and I'm going to come and say it again. I was testing my tanks at Pisces using the HANA alkalinity meter. You've seen me do it. But I want to tell you, when you get busy, and as simple as a test is, sometimes I mess it up. You rush and you get distracted, you touch it. It's still a procedure, although a shorter one than most others out there, and more accurate than a vast majority of them. And I had not intended to use a Trident on this. I was intending to buy that for this. But because now I moved to simplifying the system, I say I have to trust Aquafaris. and I can trust them from experience. If you've looked on the reef tanks that I have at Pisces, I can tell you this. Here's what I do: a 25 watt percent change every week. I dose not a fucking thing apart from what you see me putting in my tank here: tank buster, algae waste reducer, reef effects. I don't dose nothing else, and I'm fragging, especially the multipores. I have to be cutting them back, and that's one water change for the week. Sometimes it's not even 25% them get. So here's my philosophy: this is not going to be a stocked tank with corals. I already discussed with you. I'm going to have corals in here, but very easy, simple ones, like starter the mushrooms, and it's all going to be graduated up until a maximum 4-hour light cycle. So only corals that can fit within that time frame of light intensity that will not impact my algae growth will go in there. So I map my tank first, and I know the maximum light I will prepare to put in this tank, power and everything, because I know of the Seneye, and then I will look for the coral that suits that environment. That is how I'm doing it. I'm not like, oh, if I put the coral, which light is I must buy that, what I must set it to? Fuck all of that. Corals will adjust. So when you can map out where your light settings should be for your tank, then you find the coral that fits with it. I'm a low power tank, so I'm going to deal with corals that are in, as I said, the option for me is even go to non-photosynthetic, but that's the next stage. So let me not go too far down that road. But the reason I mentioned that is because, unlike a gradual bounce between ranges, when you go to this type of gliding, you have to go with the wind. You dip, you go up, you go down. So long as you're bouncing within safe ranges, you are not looking at a specific number. I'm not trying to get my pH boom shot on 8.2 or boom shot on 8.3. Oh my god, it dropped a 0.5. What the hell? That's not real life environment, brethren. Ocean go up and go down, and it have little fluctuations within a safe range for the fish and its inhabitants and everything that lives there. So once there's a gradual safe bounce, which Aquaforest product has proven to me can, I don't need the hand alkalinity. With the amount of water changes I do daily, I should be able to replace and keep whatever needs to be alive in there just from the free shit them give me in them salt. So I'm cutting out the need for using any supplements. I just support my livestock by the base salt, and that's why I say get a high quality salt. Even if you are just thinking about fish alone, it gives you the opportunity to add. All right. Oh yes, talk about the marine tick. Oh yeah, Seneye, sorry, I'm gonna have to lick you on one thing, you know. So this is a perfect time to do it. So let us do it because this is your last chance. So I have my meter. Fuck, Fusion is on this phone. I don't business. We're going to go across, we're going to go by this meter. And I can see that the temperature on the exterior is 25.1, and I'm going, not just tell you, I'm not going to make you see it. Because I'm going to make a statement about the Seneye temperature probe. My opinion. Okay, so what temperature are you showing now? I wonder if you can see it. Can see it? Okay, that is 25.1. Yeah? Alright. Let me go look upon the. Me touch my computer screen for the first time since me come home. Let me see what this look like. Okay. So Seneye is telling me the temperature here. Yes, sir. You can see, yeah. 24.125. Right? That's a clear 1 degree separation. So let's go see what the actual tank temperature is, because I'm going to use my put on my slippers. I'm going to use my meter, and this meter, as you can see before, it turns on as you open it up. all the way up. All right, and I'm gonna see what it says in the tank, and hopefully I can make you guys see this thing. 25.7. Yeah, that's just about what it has been. I was 25.8 the other day, so 25.7. So we see how far off the Seneye is from what I believe is accurate temperature reading. So personally speaking, what I'm going to say is I don't really have any confidence in the temperature probe from Seneye. And I always wipe this off, salt, before I close it. I don't have any confidence in your temperature probe, right? By far, I mean, the Neptune temperature probe is better. So I go for the Neptune temperature probe. Neptune temperature probe is going to be my gold standard so far as it does not deviate within more than, I'd say, for me, comfortably. So here's my rule of thumb. I'll call the Seneye the accuracy, I would call it somewhat accurate. You're a degree and change away from true reading. You're somewhat accurate. I will call the Exoterra accurate because the Exoterra is within half a degree of what I would consider true accuracy. And I will call the Apex temperature probe highly accurate. It's in 0.1. I'll probably may extend even to 0.2, but 0.1 to 0.2 from true accuracy. So keep that in mind when you're setting your controllers. Always have a way to, and previously what I was doing is just averaging them, and I even have the floating thermometer. So I averaged all four and I came up with something, but it was just too hard to continue. So I just say, you know what? Gold standard, these two should always be in alignment. I already know that should always be about 0.5, so I have a good range of, and it don't move. And that's why keeping your sensors clean all the time helps. So, yeah, I spoke about the calls I've been getting from panicking reefers already, about reagents and supplements for their tanks. And they're panicking where they're going to get them. They're searching all over North America. I'm getting all kind of messages. People want to connect with me on Facebook, all kind of things. Where can I get this? Where can I get this? All kinds of stuff you guys are adding to your tanks. Consider gliding if you can. I know. Consider gliding. And yes, so the higher alkalinity is, and this was the last point I made, I spoke about already. It's a nice to have, but not a need to have when you're using a high quality salt. So let me just make sure I did cover everything that I wanted to mention today. Yes, I spoke about that. And yes, I spoke about previously I believe I mentioned about the 1 gallon equals 16 US cups. I found that formula, and so you can work out the math in terms of how you do your water changes. So those are the points I wanted to bring up for today. And what this week is going to be looking like now, wow, it's just sailing. I feel like, okay, we're next, but I can't do nothing yet because this week I have decided I want this at least to be a solid week where I just do what I was doing the previous week, repeat that, and see what data the Seneye captures. I want you to see all the changes. You will see the water drops when I do water changes. You see the pH changes. I want you to see that because every time you see that on the graphs, because I'm going to post the Seneye graphs up on the Reef 3 forum as I speak to this style, this biological water exchange. I don't even know really what to to really call it. They're just so, it's just fucking simple. Do you know the joy I have right now? When I think about this, I say, if you ask me when last I cleaned my canister filter, I'm going to laugh. Because I'm going to tell you, say, well, my canister filter is brand new. It don't use it. Not having to clean. My God, the glass is spotless. I'm searching for a speck of algae in it and I can't find it. Are you mad? With these Kessel lights running the cycle I was running it on? If you ever let that tank go 1 week and you don't clean your glass, I'm sorry for you. One algae farm. Because, well, there's more to that. But with the deep clean of the tank and everything, it just looks crystal clear. I'm still going to discover some more things. I'm going to just watch it. But this week I know most of the data. And any little thing or changes I make, I'll let you know. So again, thanks. I think I'm going to end it here. I can't think of anything that I wanted to say. No, I spoke about the fuck ups, the nice clean, the top, the optical sensor, leaving the fuck up reminder, neating up the tubing, carry the wires out of the way for now, set things aside so I can still access. Oh, look here. I still haven't set up. I didn't move them. So I'll show you this. So this is my cleanup bowls. So this bowl is what I had the vinegar in with a separate rag, and then this is the water bowl with a separate rag. So I would wipe off the sensor with the vinegar and finish with it here, and then have the water here. And so 2 different color bowls, 2 different rags. So when I'm cleaning, it's clean and I'm not you know, cross-contaminating. So it's just always these little steps that I think about in my head, you know, to just make sure that I keep it as a pristine environment as possible. Yeah, so that I believe is really the last thing I want to talk about. And you know me, if I find anything else, I will come back and shoot it. So that's the video for, oh, hey Alexa, what day is today?
It's Sunday, 26th of April.
It's Sunday, 26th of April. Have a good night, people. Blessing them.